Hello everyone, I know it's been a while, and I appreciate your patience. To show my gratitude for you guys being so awesome while I spend some time with the wife and our new little mini medic, I wanted to come back with a build video. So, please allow me a few minutes of your time to bring you my very own 1-bar healer build for PvP in the Elder Scrolls Online. My name's Doc, and make sure to stick around to the end of the video for a few channel updates, but for now, let's get into this. Now, for a quick disclaimer, because I feel it's my duty to say so, a 1-bar healer build will generally not be as strong as its 2-bar counterpart, and this is especially true in PvP. I am proud of this build, and I think a lot of people who enjoy 1-bar builds for one reason or another will find plenty of success using it. Of course, though, I want to recommend that, if possible, I would eventually work your way up to the regular PvP healer build that I have on my channel. So, ordinarily, my PvP healer builds tend to focus on combining the tank and the healer role to balance our survivability, support, and healing output. This is still true with the 1-bar version, but due to our lack of a back bar, we have to change up our priorities just a bit. We'll still do our best to provide defensive buffs and support, but this build excels in raw healing output and big shield numbers. For our race, I'm using the Breton as I always do. However, you can be fine with pretty much any race when it comes to PvP healing. Every race grants some sort of benefit that will be useful to us in a PvP setting, so go with whatever you like best. For our class lines, I'm using Restoring Light from the Templar for its strong raw healing output, Green Balance from the Warden for its access to the minor toughness buff and solid healing output, and then for our flex line, here are our options. In my last PvP build, I mentioned that both Siphoning and Curative Runiforms are both going to be very strong options. Since I used Siphoning in the last build, I figured I'd bring out Curative Runiforms for this one. Curative Runiforms will provide us with strong shields at a low cost, a large increase to our healing, and a big recovery boost, all of which will be very helpful for us with this particular build. For our attributes, I've put all 64 points into health to help improve our survivability. For our Mundus, I recommend the Ritual for the increased healing. If you feel like you need the Atronach for the extra recovery, I wouldn't blame you, but with a 1-bar build, you do have a little more time for heavy attacks to restore resources, so I do prefer to go with the Ritual to help keep us and our team in the fight. For food, I like to use the Smoke Bear Haunch. It provides us with more health as well as an increase to our magicka, stamina, and health recovery. You can find the recipe for it by doing a quest line in Hrothgar, or you can buy it via guild traders. It is rather expensive to create though, requiring a perfect row, so if you prefer, you can also use Witchmother's Potent Brew for a cheap alternative that still gets the job done. For potions, I highly recommend using Tri-Stat Recovery Potions. Getting a boost of magicka, stamina, and health can often turn you dying into your team winning the fight. Next up, we've got champion points. As I mentioned in my PvP builds, champion points aren't too terribly important. Here are the ones that I have slotted, and if you're taking this build into Cyrodiil, these are great choices, but since there are so many different instances in PvP where your champion points are completely disabled, I generally don't go too in-depth with them. If you have any questions about them or, want some alternative recommendations or anything like that, please feel free to ask in the comments and I'd be more than happy to help. Alright, and now we're moving on to skills. As I always mention, these skills will assume you're using the same skill lines I am, those being Restoring Light, Green Balance, and Curative Runiforms. If you're using something different and you'd like help choosing a skill or two, again, feel free to drop a comment and I'd be happy to help. Also, keep in mind that because this is a 1-bar build, we'll only be covering 5 skills and 1 ultimate as opposed to our usual 10 skills and 2 ultimates. So, starting from the top, we've got Budding Seeds. This Green Balance skill is an excellent AoE heal and burst heal rolled into one. It's also how we're going to activate a few of our Green Balance passives to improve our healing and sustain. Next up is Healing Burst. This is the Soul Burst Scribed skill, and I'm using the Heal, Sage's Remedy, and Minor Resolve scripts. It's going to be our main spammable and offers solid healing output along with a decent defensive buff. Think of it as my PvP version of Combat Prayer. Up next, we have Extended Ritual. This Restoring Light skill is a large AoE heal that has great healing output while also offering a cleanse for us, a cleanse synergy for our team, and it's how we'll activate some of our Restoring Light passives. Next up, we have Chakram of Destiny. This is our curative runiform skill. It's already a strong shield that can give your team an early advantage in a fight, but it's also the way that we'll be building Crux, which will activate some of our curative runiform passives to provide us with a boost to our healing and sustain. Then we have Radiating Regeneration. This sticky heal over time skill found in the Restoration Staff line is a great way to give our allies some passive healing. It's also the main way we'll be activating one of our sets. And for our ultimate, we have Reviving Barrier. This support skill line ultimate is one of the best defensive ults in the entire game. It provides us with a ton of healing and a large shield, which will be further improved by the Intricate Runiforms passive from the Curative Runiform skill line. And finally, we'll be moving on to our sets, traits, and enchantments. As per usual with our PvP builds, the placement of some of our set pieces are a bit all over the place, but it does have a purpose. So, the first set we'll be using is the Mark of the Pariah set from the Hrothgar Zone or on Guild Traders. It offers fantastic protection that only gets stronger as our health gets lower. Next is the Robes of Transmutation found in Cyrodiil or from Guild Traders. This is the set that will be using Radiating Regeneration to keep active, and it offers us really strong crit protection. Due to the nature of one-bar builds, I don't have quite enough room for a monster set, so I'm just using one piece of Rocks of the Warped for some extra recovery. You don't have to use that if you don't want to. There are plenty of other great one-piece monster sets, but I just like the extra recovery from it. Feel free to use whatever you like best. Then, for our mythic item, we'll be using the Oaken Soul Ring, which will restrict us to just one single bar, but gives us a ton of permanent buffs to make up for it. For the weight, I've got 4 heavy, 2 light, and 1 medium. You don't have to use exactly that if you need a little extra healing or sustain. Most healers, though, will typically recommend 3 to 4 pieces of heavy armor, and I went for 4 just to make sure that I'm tanky enough to stay in the fight, especially for a build that I don't have access to my sword and board. For that armor, I'm using a combination of reinforced and impenetrable traits for the extra defense, along with prismatic defense enchantments for more health, magicka, and stamina. For our jewelry, I'm using the Triune trait for more health, magicka, and stamina, and the prismatic recovery enchantments for more health, magicka, and stamina recovery. I think you see where I'm going with this. For our restoration staff, I'm using the powered trait for extra healing and the absorb magicka enchantment. Since we're on a 1-bar build, we don't have a back bar to cover, so that was it. Thank you for tuning into another build video, and as always, I hope you enjoyed the video and found it useful. I do sincerely apologize for how long it's been since my last video, but Mrs. Doc and I just needed a little bit of time to adjust to new parent life. Videos and streams may still be inconsistent for a little while longer, but I'm not going anywhere. Videos and streams are returning, slowly but surely. Don't forget to check out the link in the description so you can follow me on stuff and join my Discord server. Before we head out, I also want to give a quick shout out to my Patreon supporters and all of my YouTube members as well. As always, you guys are seriously amazing. I think all I've got left to say is that I've been Doc. Take care of yourselves, be good to others, remember to be thankful, and I will catch y'all in the next one.